Background is actually not in journalism. I have a degree in human biology from the University of Guelph, and I just kind of fell into journalism by accident. I became the sports editor of the university newspaper at the University of Guelph, and didn't really treat it very seriously because I knew I was going to be going away to school to do my graduate work. Ended up back at the University of Guelph. My job was open as the sports editor. I thought, you know what, I kind of like this. So I took it seriously, and I sent out something like 210 resumes to basically every newspaper, radio station across Canada that I could find. And my resume just landed on the desk of the sports editor of the Sault Star up in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, the day somebody quit. And he interviewed me over the phone and hired me over the phone. I didn't even know where Sault Ste. Marie was. I had to go to, well, back in those days, there was no internet. I had to go look at an atlas and try to figure out where Sault Ste. Marie was. And so I just kind of fell into it and ended up at the Spectator. But I started out in sports. Then I became an editor, doing different types of editing functions. And then decided I wanted to go back to writing and just kind of fell into doing investigative work. So Code Red was a pretty interesting project that seemed to really capture people's attention. Got a lot of attention across the country, where we basically used hundreds of thousands of pieces of actual health data, and we were able to take people's health data, group it together into little pieces of geography, like we'll call them neighborhoods. And then what we were able to do was look at the health of these neighborhoods, the actual health markers for neighborhoods. But then the best part of it was that we could also look at those same neighborhoods' economic and social outputs or outcomes, and match those up with the health things. And so what we found, no matter what types of health indicators we looked at, we found that the places that had the poorest health outcomes were also the places that were the poorest economically and the poorest socially. And the places that did the best with health were the places that were the richest and the most advanced socially. So the one stat that sort of blew everyone away in the way we started the project was that we found that there was a 21-year difference in life expectancy across the city, which to me is just absolutely staggering. I mean, that's a generation of people difference between the best neighborhoods and the worst neighborhoods, which frankly I think should be shocking to a lot of people. Yeah, Railroaded was an interesting project. We did it slightly differently, where we actually put it all together almost in sort of a mini book form. We published it as a 32-page standalone tab section, so you could actually hold it in your hands and read it the way you would read a book. It was the story of how taking a fresh look at a mob hit that took place back in the 1980s, where a somewhat notorious Toronto mobster was gunned down by the side of a railroad track in Milton in a sort of a cold-blooded hit. And so I looked at the two guys that were wrongfully convicted of that mob hit, and a fresh look at it in the sense that for about 16 years, a special OPP report that looked into how the conviction of these two guys had been gotten so wrong by the Crown and the Crown attorneys in the case. We were able to finally bring to light after 16 years this the OPP report that had been kept secret, and we were able to show that in fact the OPP had done what could only be described as a very shoddy job of trying to investigate the circumstances of how these two men were railroaded.